and its purpose, and the UK to a degree too as an ally. And so I think the real challenge today is how you make sense of this shifting geopolitics. And in that, I think the position of India is absolutely critical, because the progress of India in these last years has been remarkable and extraordinary. And I think the position of India now, this is again my view as an outsider, is potentially more powerful than it's ever been. With the G20, this is in a way a demonstration of its authority on the global stage. But increasingly around the world, when countries are worried about whether they have to choose between the USA and China, I think India is a country seen by many as an objective friend, and I think it's got the opportunity now to lead the global south in a way that's never been true before.
But your point of power being shared and not shifted so much, is the West prepared to share that power? Because I do not see a lot of enthusiasm on United Nations Security Council reform to start with.
Yeah, but the West has got no option. And the trouble with the UN Security Council reform, which of course should happen, I mean, it's absurd that India is, you've got a situation where India is not a permanent member, but you could say that about other countries as well. But leave aside that, because the problem always with reforming the UN Security Council is how do you get consensus? But the West has got no option but to share the power. The question is how you make sense of international diplomacy in this new world.
Dr. Jaishankar, India today is a bigger economy than Britain. It is a geopolitical power. It is a post-colonial country that dominates the originally English sport of cricket. Would you call it a reversal of power?
Would I call it?
A reversal of power.
I would call it rebalancing. I would call it history switch to.
Your sound, I don't think your sound.
Yeah, I said I would call it rebalancing, but I would also say this is history which is switch hitting. It's hitting the other way, right?
Not far wrong.
But seriously, in history, you have these ups and downs. It's not often that actually countries get a second or a third bite of the apple. I think India today is in a very unusual position, that it is once more very decisively upwardly mobile, which a lot of other civilizational states, barring one actually, are not anymore in a position to do. Where the UK is concerned, I think it's a very complex relationship. I mean, there's a lot. The most popular film in India last year was a film called RRR, and this had to do with the British era. And just I'm trying to put it delicately, you weren't the nice guys in the movie. The reason I said...
Can I sit here as a South African?
Yeah, no.
Please.
The fact is, when you have this kind of complex history, there would be the downside of it. There would be the suspicions, there would be the unresolved problems. At the same time, there will be bonds, there will be similarities, and cricket happens to be one of them. Now, in terms of the shifting weight of cricket, when it started to shift, actually people, I think, suggested we were better at the business of cricket than in the game of cricket. I think by now, barring this match, by now I think the game of cricket has shifted as well. So that's the kind of things which are happening in the world today. The world is changing. There's the old, there's the new, there's the old which is now the new.
Would you say we've also aced the politics of cricket, not just the game? We've been able to successfully weaponize it specifically against some of our Western neighbors.
No, I wouldn't. We don't weaponize anything. We are nice people. I strongly rebut that. Look, when anything is successful, there's a natural desire to be part of that. Now, it's understandable, but if you want to be part of what is good, what is decent, what is doing well in the world, then it's also expected that the rest of your behavioral pattern would reflect that. So I think that's a bit of an odd case, but I don't think anybody really wants to weaponize it or politicize it. I think there are understandable sentiments. I mean, cricket, is much more serious than a game, and therefore all the sentiments go along with it.
Kevin Pieterson, the game of cricket was introduced to India by some British traders back in the 18th century or the beginning of the 18th century. Today, India ranks higher than England in the ICC and higher than South Africa. How do you see this journey, India's journey, both on the cricket pitch and the geopolitical arena?
Yeah, I mean, a fascinating debate, and thank you so much for bringing me to India again. It is a place that I love. I've been coming here for 20 years now, and the country just keeps getting better and better. I think with the world and where the world is at the moment, cricket or sport can be the one that sort of unifies the world. I think talking about South Africa, we saw what happened to South Africa in 1995 when South Africa won the Rugby World Cup, and what sport did for South Africa. You saw what it did again a couple of years ago when South Africa won, and Siya Kolisi gave that whole speech. And I will reference rugby, but then I'll also reference the opportunity within sport and how that can be a leader in the sort of tumultuous world that we're living in at the moment. There's conflict everywhere. I sit here as an ex-sportsman. I sit here as a father of 2 children. And I was just speaking to Tony just in the back of the hall there about where the world is at and where we see the world. And as Joe Public, the world is actually a very scary place for us. And so for me, sitting here now, just trying to understand so many different opinions. You hear Russia speak only an hour or so ago. You then hear the gentleman last night. You hear Bill Gates talking about certain ways the world's going. I can just say from my side that the world for Joe Public is a very scary place. Digitally, scary. The war, scary. Pandemics, future pandemics, scary. So when we talk about cricket and we talk about that opportunity to unite, sport should be used. Sport can be used. The relationships between England and India. I mean, I was one of the first guys that broke away from England and had that sort of separation from the national side because of my affiliation with India and the IPL and the start of the IPL. You now have a look at the world of cricket that we're talking about. All the players from all around the world, friendships, almost homes here in this beautiful country. That's what cricket has done. English players, great friendships with Indian players. Indian players have great friendships with English players, with players from the Caribbean. Australian players. I know you guys are playing in a huge series at the moment against Australia. During, before and after those games, the friendships are rife. And so I think that sport can be used in some sort of fashion to be able to try and mend it. Cricket's an issue because China and America don't play cricket. Russia definitely don't play cricket.
Interesting you say that, because